Hey everybody, this is Movies and Popcorn with Dara. This is the first of its kind event where I'm interviewing Shane Roberts. So I'll read you. I'll tell you about Shane's credentials. We've been best buds since high school.
Class of 11.
Class of 11, Barnesville High, represent. He is a special education teacher for Bridgeport. Now you're at Cambridge,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Doing God's work out there. He saw Elton John in concert
Twice.
once
with Billy Joel.
and we once rode a train with me and his wife Lydia to New Jersey and back to visit friends.
And that went by pretty quick.
It did. For an 8-hour train ride, it did
And now
go
they're
pretty quick.
back on the East Coast.
Yes, so we don't have to take a train again.
No.
You can probably drive.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too far. Maryland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Johnny and Lauren. Shout out. Okay, so Shane's got one thing on me, and it's that he's met more famous people than I have. I've met a whopping 0, although I almost touched Neil McCoy's hand one time. If that cooler wouldn't have been in my way and made me trip, I would have touched his hand. But yes, you would too. So we're just going to kind of go down the list real quick. Now, they say that you should never meet your heroes because it's usually not what you expect it to be. But I mean, your experience has been pretty positive.
All except one, and I'll save that one for last. I won't drop names.
Okay. All right. So first off, you met John Carpenter.
Twice.
Twice.
Okay.
Wow. Now, John Carpenter and I do have something in common.
Mm-hmm.
We love the movie Rio Bravo. I found that out in my research.
Didn't know that of him, so
Yes.
learn.
Howard Hawks. You also met the cast of The Breakfast Club minus Emilio Estevez.
He was busy, they told me, but they were all cool people.
That's good. Heather Graham.
She was very nice.
Tara Strong. That's, for those of you who don't know, that's Timmy Turner.
Oh gosh, Timmy Turner. Well, I think she took over Chucky when the Rugrat when the original actress died. You name it, cartoon from the 90s, early 2000s, she's probably in it somewhere.
Nancy Cartwright, who was Bart Simpson, Nelson Muntz, and a whole slew of other people on The Simpsons.
I got her to do my favorite quote from The Simpsons in her voice of Ralph, which is, you choose me, the Valentine's Day one. And I was ecstatic.
That's awesome. Andy Serkis, who, my goodness, he's got quite the career. He was Gollum, Caesar in the latest Planet of the Apes movies.
King Kong. Directed Venom 2.
Did he really?
He did.
I did not know that.
Let There Be Carnage.
Huh, and he was the latest Alfred, am I correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
I forgot that one.
Yeah.
And Snoke, Star Wars.
Okay. Michael Rooker, who, I've seen videos, seems like a very nice guy, but he mostly has played kind of a jerk in a lot of his... Till recently, they seem to be more nice people now. But...
He was a good dude. He was a very good dude, I can tell you.
You met the Christmas Story cast.
All good guys. Every one of the kids. The Ralphie, the brother, his 2 buddies, Scott Farkas, and the Toady. I can never remember his name.
I'm drawing a blank.
It only, Dill. Something Dill. Grover Dill.
Daphne
Zuniga.
She was Spaceballs.
And The Fly, too.
Really?
Don't watch it if you don't have a strong stomach.
Now, you have John Barenthal's autograph, but you did not actually meet him.
I had somebody get that for me. I wish I would have met him, just couldn't make that one. This is all at a Comic-Con in Pittsburgh every 4 months, by the way, called Steel City Con.
Wow. Seems like a lot of people in one place.
It gets very crowded and very hot.
Thomas Lennon, who was Officer Dangle in Reno 911.
Hilarious. Played the whole character as he walked through the whole day, just walking through.
I love that new boot goofing.
He said that a lot.
Famke Jensen, who was most notably Jean Grey in the first X-Men trilogy.
And Goldeneye, bad guy in Goldeneye, Pierce Brosnan's first.
Really? I remember that one. Look at you. Pam Grier.
70s.
The only reason I know her name is from the movie Reservoir Dogs.
No, Jackie Brown.
I didn't like Jackie Brown.
Oh, but he's in Jackie Brown.
She is
Jackie Brown.
But I remember her name just because of
Oh, it is mentioned.
Reservoir Dogs, yeah. You met Dean Norris and Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad.
Very, very cool dudes.
And Jamie Kennedy. Right?
I felt bad for him because it was all the screencast. Matthew Lillard was there. Skeet Ulrich was there. Who's the main girl? I'm blanking.
Not Drew. Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox was there. No, Courtney Cox wasn't there. The guy was, though. Son of a gun. I'm blanking.
I just watched Screen not too long ago.
Nancy. She played Nancy. Nancy was the character. Was the main girl. Wow. And then David Arquette.
Yeah. So how do you come up against that? You just don't. Probably don't have a lot of people.
Well, everybody had huge lines except for Jamie. So I was like, I don't have to wait. And there's literally nobody. Which, oddly enough, for John Carpenter, the first time I met him, nobody was in line.
Really?
Not a soul. And then I felt really bad. Like, not a soul was there. There was like a kid in front of me with his mother, and he was about, the little guy, probably about 6 or 7 years old, holding a Michael Myers mask that if he put it on, it would have been down to his waist. And John leaned over the table and looked at this kid and said, "You know who that is?" And the kid's holding the mask and kind of goes, "Uh-huh." And John says, "You shouldn't know who that is." But then he signed the mask. And then in the corner of that exact room, it was in a little room in a hotel, like just a banquet room. But it was just him and one other, and it was the older sister from the very beginning of the original Halloween.
Okay.
They got killed, and there was not a soul there for her. And I felt terrible. But I'm like, if you're only in it for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
And you said you only had one bad experience, right?
Yes.
One. Oh. Out of that many, that's probably not bad.
The one, I won't say the name, but I thought he was an 80s, not icon, but big for an 80s movie. And I heard him, before I was going to wait in line for him, he did a panel. They all do Q&A panels. And I sat and listened, and his words were, the film he was in, he said, "That film is a masterpiece." He said, "It's not a movie, it's a work of art. It's a sci-fi classic, I'll tell you later." And it's not, I was like, all right, this guy's kind of cocky, I'm kind of scared. And then one woman stood up and asked a question about that particular film's remake. And he grabbed the mic and said, "Never saw it, never gonna see it, next question." And they took the mic from her. And I said to this guy, no.
Oh my, wow. No.
Yes, jerk. I will never forgive him. Jerk.
Dang, I liked him in Longmire. I don't know if you ever saw that, but I had another question for you.
I'm sorry, I got off track.
No, no, it's not a question, but it's a comment. You know what videos I love online is the ones where the kids are wearing the whole Michael Myers get up and like the kid like falls or something, and it's just like it's funny because he's wearing a serial killer costume and it's just like falls like a kid.
Yeah, I think I like the trend that's going on now where like somebody will dress up as him and they see if you could actually survive. Like they're just down the sidewalk and they got to run to the door and unlock it in time, and the other person's just keeping a gentle pace. Have you ever seen those?
No, that'll make me puke.
It works like 1 out of 99 times.
So Shane asked me to watch John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982.
My all-time favorite, top 2 favorite horror movies, which is why I as you said earlier, I did meet one of my heroes. Meet John. Never going to be able to meet the director of my second favorite or first favorite, depending on the day, horror movie, which is Psycho. And the odds of me meeting Alfred Hitchcock are pretty darn.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I've not seen Psycho yet, but I did really
You
like...
know-
I know I own it, I just haven't watched it yet. But I do really like Rear Window.
At least the black and white version, right? Not the Vince
Right,
Vaughn one.
yeah. My brother got me the whole, like, Alfred Hitchcock, like, 5-movie collection a few years ago, and still haven't worked my way through all of them yet. Of course, we watched The Birds in high school
Nice, yep.
when we read the story.
Yep.
I still get, like, my stomach tightens up when I see a whole flock of birds gathering.
Which Psycho is a novel, too.
Is it?
And I had to start locking the bathroom door after I watched it.
That would do it for you. That would do it for you.
Never did before then.
I'm not really a horror. Well, okay. Let me back this up. My mom doesn't like horror movies, so we didn't watch horror movies growing up. And my introduction to horror was probably like Scream, and I don't mean that I watched it. I mean that it was 1998, and every kid within 5 feet had the Scream mask that like had the blood dripping down the front for Halloween.
Yep, I remember that.
But just recently, I've gotten more into horror. I really like the Sinister movies, like Insidious, The Nun.
I don't do the paranormals, so you're braver than me.
Neither does my mom. So, The Thing stars Kurt Russell, and it opens with this like super cheesy 80s, like you're in space and there's like a alien spacecraft, so like it automatically it's gonna be aliens. And then it goes to where our main characters are, and they're in like the Arctic. Is that correct? And there's a helicopter flying the Norge, and they're like, "What does the Norge mean?" It's like, it's Norwegian. And my first thought was not the dog, because they're like shooting at a dog.
Fun fact about that, not to interrupt you, little trivia. That part where they're yelling at the dog, the Norwegians, it's not subtitled. But honestly, when they showed it in Norway, they are saying that's not a dog, that's an alien. So right from the get-go, it was ruined for the Norwegians. But we wouldn't have known that because we're not Norwegian.
Right.
So it's like the suspense is there, like what is going on? But right away they're like, this is done in 2 minutes. True story.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Now, the guy that lands the helicopter from the Norge helicopter, like, throws a grenade, and then he ends up blowing his own helicopter up, and I was like, did he mean to do that? Or did he just not know how to use grenades? Maybe both. And then, and I just want to say this about Kurt Russell, is that Kurt Russell. I mean, I feel like Kurt Russell hasn't changed much his entire career. He's very, he's intense. Like, if you've seen Tombstone, everybody knows you tell him I'm coming and hell's coming with me. And if any other actor had uttered those words, people would have been like, ooh, like this guy's like too much. But Kurt Russell did it, and it was cool. So, Kurt Russell's cool in my book.
Nev Campbell was the star of Scream.
Nev Campbell.
It was
Gotcha.
eating me alive. I'm sorry.
Now, like I said, they're in the Arctic, so it's cold. It's just one group of people in one spot. And the one time I was like, this character is out of touch, is like, someone goes, these guys are out of touch, and the guy's like, 8 weeks isn't long enough for a guy to go bonkers. And I'm like, 2 minutes in the cold is long enough for me to go bonkers. So do you have any thoughts so far what we're up to?
I could go on and on and on. Just like I said, this is always bounces between being my number 1 or 2. I can fill in trivia. We've already met the only credited female cast member of this movie at this point. Do you know who?
No.
It was Adrienne Barbeau.
Oh, as the computer voice.
As the computer
And that
voice.
was John Carpenter's wife, correct?
At the time, yes.
Yes.
I said that it was ruined. And just I love this. I watched it younger than I should have, probably like 11 years old. But it was just one of those ones that you heard about so much, and there were certain kills that I knew were coming and they were spoiled for me, but like the practical effects blew my mind, so I was like, I have to see this. So, not knowing exactly what was going on, but kind of having an idea because those were spoiled, just this sense of like, when's stuff gonna go south?
Right.
And how? And it just builds this impending doom. Everything's cool, calm, and copacetic at this point, but you know all the doors are, the dam's gonna burst.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you have a group of people in this type of situation, it's only a matter of time before, I mean, things go south.
Self-contained movies. The
yes.
Evil Dead, Cabin in the Woods.
The one thing that like immediately came to my mind was the play, which I believe ended up being the Twilight Zone episode, was The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
I just watched that last night. No kidding. I made Lydia watch that last night, and she needed to know the spoilers, so I said it for her. I was like, she said, are there monsters? I said, spoiler alert, that you've already met the monsters.
Right.
It's these people. And she was like, what? And so we watched, and it still is like eerie. And that it does harken back to that, just that paranoia.
Yeah.
And that's what this leads into.
Oh, I gotta give a special shout out to Wilford Brimley, who, without a mustache, I was like, that's Wilford's voice, but not his face.
Right? And the great Keith David in this.
Yes. Keith David, who, if you've got kids and you've seen Princess and the Frog, he's the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. I love this song.
And I believe he was also the main gargoyle in Gargoyles.
He was. I forgot that one. And then he was an animated Spawn. Todd McFarlane's Spawn.
Really?
Black and white hero. And so many other voices.
Yes. Now, I did read that this is John Carpenter's favorite film that he's made, but it was initially a flop.
Yes, it was. The box office tanked because another famous, as somebody else told me this, a friend of mine, another famous alien movie came out around this time. Do you know what it was?
Alien?
E.T.
E.T.
Same week, same month, I think. And everybody wanted to see that happy little glowing finger booger versus...
It would be hard to go up against E.T.
Yeah.
Okay. So they come across this frozen dead guy with a razor in his hand. And this was kind of like the first... I was like... I wasn't scared.
Oh, I meant to ask you, was this your first time watching it last night?
Yes.
Oh, yeah! That makes it even cooler.
It wasn't scary for me at any point, but it was definitely like, it was a lot like, you know, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I read, and maybe you can confirm, that unused music from this movie was used in The Hateful Eight.
I did not know.
I read that.
If you read that, I didn't know that.
On the database.
I fully believe it. Another Kurt Russell trashing a $1 million priceless guitar.
That's one of my favorite parts of that entire movie because it just happened so. It was like so out of pocket. Like,
because nobody knew what was going to happen. Everybody lost their cool. That was like priceless.
Yeah.
Gone.
Now, once we get to the dog part, I was really like...
When it's in the kennel?
Ugh, yeah. Like, I happened to be like... Alright, I started it last night, and I kind of fell asleep. So I did finish it today.
Sure.
So I was eating during the dog part.
Oh, that's the problem.
And,
Nope.
So, yeah, that was... But that's kind of like where they figure out that it can take other forms, right?
Assimilate.
Yeah. And that it's how it spreads and whatever. And then my other note is poor other puppies. Because I don't think any of them make it out alive.
No.
Oh, my next one is Alien Autopsy. No thanks.
I can picture it. I just had to think of it.
Wilford Brimley is like the doctor or something like that, and he does the autopsies on the aliens. And so they have this alien, and it's dead, and well, they're pretty sure it's dead, but it's not dead till it's cold and dead. And one guy's like, we should burn it. And this other guy was like, well, if you burn it, you can't win a Nobel Peace Prize. And that's what you get for not being humble. And so things don't go well with them either. And the last night I have is Doc goes off the rails.
That he does.
And then I kind of was just like watching the movie and I forgot to take more notes.
It's fine.
So
that's when they start locking him in. They lock him in, and that provides later on the single darkest point of humor I think I've ever seen in a movie. It's where they open the little eye slit. And they're like, how are you? And the noose is there. He's like, I'm fine. Or something to that degree. And that's just dangling there. And you're like, ooh, that is a very dark joke. But kind of funny.
I couldn't tell if this was going to be foreshadowing or if it was just like a attempt at humor. So
the part that, as I alluded to earlier, that made me like, I have to see this is, and it's the part everybody talks about, the defibrillator scene. Mm-hmm. Holy moly! Because that's out of the blue, and that's my favorite part. And that whole sequence where it bites the doctor's hands off, and then the head detaches, and it's its own little spider thing. And the other part that gets me every time is after the blood test, and the older man, the chief of the thing, is like still tied to the chair, and he says something like, "I would rather not spend the entire spring tied to this chair," something to that. It's winter, and he just loses it, and it's just. That paranoia lasts throughout because still, even at the end, and that was one thing I actually got to ask John Carpenter. I'll pull up the picture and show the folks too. That I got to ask John about. I said, I have a question. I don't expect a direct answer, Mr. Carpenter, but when you made this, did you meant to leave it ambiguous even to yourself, or do you know who was a thing between Kurt and Keith at the end? And he said, I know exactly who was, and I'll never tell. I said, I don't want to know. He goes, well, then we're good. And then we shook hands and parted ways. Let's see here. Met him twice. The first time's where I had that in-depth talk with him. The second time I only got a picture of shaking hands with him. Oops, this way.
There we go.
Cool dude. Really cool dude. And that's my Blu-ray. Oops, the thing that he signed.
Yeah, and like I think that's what makes it more of a horror movie than being like scary is the absolute like you feel so uncomfortable.
Oh, 100%.
Like that to me is what makes it a horror movie. It's not that it's scary, it's not that it's gross, it's just that you feel this sense of dread throughout the entire movie.
That's 100% why it bounces, because yes, it's purely fictional, obviously, but that's not what scares me. As you said, it is that paranoia and that dread. Now, I've heard two different theories on that. Was it like 1982 did this come out? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're at, what's happening in 1982 politically?
I want to say Berlin Wall, but I'm probably wrong.
So, no,
Cold War.
Around the Cold War. Yes, okay. This is a metaphor for who's a Ruski and who's American, and you don't know because everybody looks the same. I've also heard it's a comment on the AIDS epidemic too.
Okay,
like everybody looks cool or normal, but who really has this tragedy going on within them? Like so, and obviously that's an outdated thing at this point. But for the time, people were like, "Oh yeah, we see that."
Yeah, I can definitely see both of those. And then when when they find McCreary's clothes outside or whatever, his coat or something, and they, the guy's like, I saw him, I let him go, and then they find him inside, and it's like, he's trying so hard to convince them that he's him and not an alien. And that's again where you feel like this sense of, is the main character gonna make it, or are they going to wrongly,
And you still don't know if he made
Yeah.
it by the end. You
Yeah.
really don't. How did that go down? And I like that we don't know.
I like movies that leave you kind of ambiguous or leave it up to you to decide.
Have you ever seen Falling Down with Michael Douglas?
I have not. I've heard a lot about it though.
There's a scene in that kind of the same thing, that everybody's mad that it didn't give it's just one scene right in the middle that it didn't give a definitive answer, and I'm like, it's not supposed to.
Yeah.
But I won't go into that. You need to watch that one. Did you get to watch, so did you watch this? Now you need to watch I can't say it without spoiling it. The sequel?
To this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or, can I say something?
Sure.
I mean, it's so old. It's actually a prequel.
Ooh.
It's about the Norwegian base.
Ooh.
Not as good.
Okay. I do still have to watch Halloween. I'm
But
excited
you
about
watched
that.
it before.
No. I told you we didn't watch horror movies when I was a kid.
Okay. Met Michael Myers, too. The original Michael Myers.
Really?
Nick Castle.
How was he?
Kind of horror movies. I just don't think they're scary. I don't like that type of movie.
What's scary to you, Jane?
Demons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't mess with that
I
stuff.
don't watch those. I don't like that kind of stuff.
No, I don't mess with that stuff either. True that.
I like that stuff.
No, the original Michael Myers, Nick Castle's his name, and he was like, I got an autograph. He's like, well, come around here. Let's do a picture. It's like one of the most nicest people you could ever meet.
Now, the rumor going around town is that Michael Myers' mask is after William Shatner's face.
Yeah.
That's true?
The original. Then they did so many remakes. After one, I think Deborah Hill, who was, I think, John Carpenter's wife at the time of doing Halloween, she kept the mask between 1 and 2 at her house, and she was a heavy smoker. So by the time they got it out, it was yellow and everything, so they had to recolor it all and everything. Yeah.
Gotcha. Dang it, Deborah. I think one of the best scenes in the movie was the part where Wilford Brimley's character goes off the rails.
Yes.
Because it was just like so like I want to say real. It was so real, but it was like so well acted. Like, I mean, like what would you do in that situation? And then he runs out of bullets and just like tosses the gun, like throws it to try to.
Did you like his monster at the end? Big boss character, if you will, what he turned into.
I don't like any of the monsters.
There's the little spider head has a special place in my heart.
Ugh. Gross me out. Like, is nobody watching The Walking Dead? Like, let's go. Yeah, that. Yeah, I mean, for 1982, the special effects are
Amazing.
Amazing,
the practical.
yeah.
And that's the problem with the prequel, that they shot it with all practical effects. Somebody said, no, these look stupid, let's redo it digital, and it looks 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's terrible.
As far as the horror movies go, I saw like the first 3 Saw movies, and this is gonna be weird, but like they make me cry. They make me sad because I always feel bad for the people who are like in the game.
I get that.
Like,
I get that. Some are scum, but some really don't.
yeah,
Yeah, I get that. I like the original, and once again, that's just something that every one of them did it just a complete kick in the face by the time it's over. You have no idea what's going
right.
on. Halloween, then. You need to check out Halloween.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. What's some others that you have? What are some other big spookies that you haven't watched yet? Halloween, with The Thing You Just Conquered, Psycho.
Freddy Krueger.
Oh,
I
I've
love
never
Nightmare on
seen.
Elm Street.
Never seen Nightmare on Elm Street.
Have you watched Friday the 13th? I'm
No.
indifferent, so
No.
I'm not heartbroken about that.
I would like to see those. I would like to see My Bloody Valentine. I don't know how good that one
The
is.
original? Or the 2000s? Or both?
Both?
Sweet 16.
The heck is Sweet 16?
Yeah, what the heck is that?
Hmm?
What's
Jane
that?
just had
That was from like when, like, about
Back when I was a kid.
Breakfast Club It had
Oh.
Molly. I think it had Molly.
16 Candles.
Oh yes,
That's not a scary
That's not
movie.
a scary movie.
it is too.
16 Candles?
No, that ain't the same one. I might have the. It's some. I may have the name wrong, but it's a scary movie, and I think it has Molly Ringwald. Don't laugh at
I'm
me.
not laughing at you. I'm
We're
laughing
laughing
with
with
you.
you.
Remember when you invited me to sit over there and I said no? This is why.
We love you, Jane.
Remember when you drove your Honda Civic through our yard?
I did. You even find the guy who did that? Jerk.
I knew you did.
What a punk.
Bobby Boucher, you're from that gorilla that escaped from the zoo and give you a black eye.
I'm looking through what Molly Ringwald did.
It wasn't her. Let me look up.
It's the Hindenburg.
The humanity. I guarantee it wasn't 16 Candles, though.
Sweet 16.
What is Sweet 16?
Just do your thing while I look it up. I'll find it. Eventually.
Oh my.
Maybe something completely off the rails, but that's...
Oh, cute.
Aw. Shay.
Okay, so okay, I would like to see I know what you did last summers.
You don't need to bar past it.
I like some-
Don't go past one. Or two. You can go to two.
Go to
Do
two.
not go past
Okay.
two.
Okay, it doesn't have anybody in it that I know. But
Surprise.
we did watch it.
It's called Sweet 16.
Yes.
Who's in it?
Um,
Maybe we know, maybe you
Sweet
don't.
16 is a 1983 American slasher film
What?
directed by Jim Sotos and starring Bo Hopkins, Susan
Bo
Strasberg,
Hopkins was in the Rockford Files.
Dana Kimmel, and Patrick McNee.
I know Patrick McNee.
I know Bo Hopkins.
He was in James Bond.
Don't tell me I don't know this.
He was in the original The Avengers. It was a TV show about two British
I know
agents.
what The Avengers
Yeah,
is.
that Avengers, not RDJ.
I do not really care for the, what the heck are they? The log truck.
Oh, Final Destination.
I don't care for those.
Those are good for a once in a lifetime, but
Yeah.
not dedicated to it.
No.
But no, that's another paranoia freak. Yeah, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. If you're out there and you can drive behind a log truck after watching one of those movies, you have an iron soul because I can't do it.
I mean, I'm a worrywart, so, if I watched all of them, I would just never do anything ever again, because I've seen, bits and pieces, the guy or the girl in the tanning bed, the guy in the pool.
Oh, that's like 3, 4. Those are
Yeah.
a healthy mix of them. No, you can skip those, but you got to get Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Now, all the Halloweens are just, one.
Cover the first two because that's where John was mostly involved.
Okay.
Have you done Gremlins, kids?
Of course, yes,
Okay.
I know Gremlins.
I mean, that's for. Have you done Child's Play? Ooh,
Do I hate that movie?
Fred Dorff is amazing. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I've seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I really like that movie.
I'm trying to think about Hellraiser, Pinhead. Those
Not seen it.
those get funky. So those are like Texas Chainsaw.
I feel like I've seen. I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through. I have
Okay.
seen bits and pieces.
Those are the biggies. They're Leprechaun.
Bits and pieces. I watched part of it out of curiosity one night, and it was so stupid I turned it
It
off.
is very stupid.
Wasn't Jennifer Aniston in
That was
that?
their first movie.
Oh, really?
And I saw Warwick Davis from a distance at one of these cons too.
Really?
He had a one of those little 2-step scooters to get around because he's such a little dude.
I like him.
He is a very nice man. I didn't get to meet him though. His
Oh,
name
no,
is-
I've never seen 13 Ghosts, but I want to.
Oh, that one's amazing too. The Matthew Lillard again.
I want to see the latest in horror, Longlegs.
I haven't yet. I know a guy that's preaching to me about it. I've just seen enough clips that I'm like, man, I don't even know what's going to happen during this. Like, he is at, Cage is at his cagiest.
Yeah, for real.
What was the last one I watched? What did I watch the other night? I can't remember. But there's one with David Dasmalchian out right now called, I just lost it. Interview with the Devil or something.
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil.
I want to see that one.
Oh, that was wild. That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one. It's a lot of practical effects too, so it really.
That has like it's like set in the 70s, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
it has
looks
that
like
feel.
It. Yes, it does, and that's why
That's
I
why I
love
watch
it
it
so
so
much.
bad.
It is great.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of catching up to do in the horror genre.
I should make you a list.
You should.
Check it twice.
Fine.
Don't do Terrifier.
Shay told me I'm supposed to watch it.
No.
Is it scary?
I have not seen it. I will not see it just from like, what I have heard. And no. No,
Okay.
no. Has Shay watched it?
I think so.
Oh, Lord. No.
Shay has got a better stomach for horror than I do.
Yeah, this one requires, like, I've seen bits and pieces, and I regret every second of it. So that's, like, no.
Yeah, I don't like movies where it's like blood and guts.
That's all this is.
Ugh.
Like, think Saw times 10.
Ugh.
If you thought Saw was nasty, this is so much worse. No. 7? Have you seen 7?
Yes.
Oh.
Duh.
Yeah.
That's a Fincher, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Fly, Jeff Goldblum. Nasty.
Long time ago.
Nasty, gross,
Long
but
time ago.
still a good one. Any suggestions, comments?
She said 13 Ghosts.
Who said 13?
Sam Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Jones.
I had that mask. Oh, I didn't know those were paranormal activities. Have
No,
you done
paranormal
those?
horror.
Yeah, but have you done those?
I walked out of one.
Because you were too scared, or you're just like, this is so
That's so
boring.
stupid.
It is kind of boring.
I can't believe I paid my hard-earned money to.
It just relies on jump scares too dang on much.
Yeah. No, I like paranormal horror.
I'm trying to think of more spookies you could get in for the month. You got to tell the people about Halloween. You got to tell the people about.
I did 1408 last night.
I saw that. I saw you.
You ever seen that one?
Yeah, a long time ago. Even more Stephen King. Okay. Do a take on Tim Curry's It.
Okay.
Have you done it?
No. I, of course, have seen both the new ones. I've seen bits and pieces of Tim Curry's. Never watched all the way
And
through.
a John Carpenter directed Stephen King movie. Christine.
Not seen that one. It's on my list.
Yes. Cujo.
Long time ago.
We weren't allowed to watch Cujo when Fred was.
My dad was scared of
Dying.
Cujo.
Because he was scared to death of that.
Well, that's so realistic too. A dog gets rabies can happen at any time, at anywhere.
Staying Alive, based on Countess Elizabeth Bathory. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that one is either. Staying Alive.
Look it up.
Isn't that? No, that's not the one I'm thinking of with Frankie Muniz, and it's a video game. I think that's just Staying. Did you do the new Beetlejuice?
Not yet.
Have you done the original Beetlejuice?
Oh, yes. Shane.
Well, dude, I mean, there's some that are just shocking to me right now.
The Descent. Ooh, okay.
The Descent's a whole other level of frightening, but it's worth the. Staying
Okay.
Alive with. Oh,
I
no,
really like the newer ones. Newer hits.
I did Staying Alive, of course. I just did the John Travolta. That's scary stuff. Right? I came up with the John Travolta movie. Staying Alive. I've never heard of that. Bo Hopkins came. I clicked on him from the other page. What else have we got? The Descent, yes.
I've seen the Conjuring movies. Annabelle.
I've
and,
never done any of them.
What are you doing over there?
I'm watching a live. I'm gonna turn it down.
You better.
More suggestions. That
Yes,
we
keep
can
them
go
coming.
on. The Descent, horror comedy. They did 2 of them. Happy Death Day. It's a Groundhog Day, but more horror.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. Christine, Cujo, Dead Zone, Christopher Walken.
Oh, Staying Alive. It's the video game movie based on the Countess. Okay.
See, I was right. I was right. Ready or Not, yes, that's a good one.
You ever watch Ready or Not? What's that? Is that the one with Margot Robbie?
No,
Oh.
it's Samara Weaving.
I'll have to look that
Hugo
up.
Weaving's niece?
You ever watch What We Do in the Shadows?
No, but I need to.
Yeah.
I know. Shame. I have it.
like,
Jennifer's Body. That one's weird but good. Anything that's A24, I like usually
I'm not
too.
really into A24 movies. Though.
Oh, Lisa Frankenstein. I watched Lisa Frankenstein.
Was it good?
I liked it. That's Ready or Not.
That's Ready or Not. That's isn't
Hugo
that Margot
Weaving-
Robbie?
No, it's Hugo Weaving's niece.
Oh, I thought it was
Samara.
Margot Robbie.
No.
Okay, well, it's on. I do want to watch that one.
I need to watch American Psycho.
I've not seen it all the way. Okay, I do want to watch Tusk. No judgment. No judgment.
That's, yeah. There's Happy Death Day.
Okay.
Jennifer's Body, that was wild. Did you?
Didn't that came out? That came out in 2009. We were in high school.
Yeah, I saw it.
Is that
in
when
high
you guys
school.
snuck into?
No, I never snuck in. I was a good kid. No, it was Johnny and Cole. And that was, it was a comedy. I can't even think
It
of the name
was
of it. Fired
Hall
Up.
Pass.
Fired Up.
Oh,
Haunted, I haven't seen the new Haunted Mansion
have
yet.
you seen Get Out?
Yes.
The Quiet Place.
Oh,
Those are supposed to be
she
good,
likes it.
quiet place.
I wanna
Shaun
see
of the Dead.
Abigail.
I want to see Abigail, too.
Have you not seen any of them, Shane?
None.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
No.
Not seen that either.
Goosebumps, I saw the Goosebumps. I saw that I watched that one yesterday, didn't I? Joker is a horror?
It's a comedy horror. I don't know.
It's not either.
Casper.
Oh, this is spooky. I haven't watched
Okay,
any of Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. What do you think of the woman-only version?
I was okay with it. I liked it.
I don't like it. I like the new one. Zombieland.
I love This Is the End too. Hilarious.
Yes.
Do you watch Wednesday? The Tim Burton series yet? Oh, it's really good too. You need to check out the series.
I've seen Rocky Horror.
Everybody's seen Rocky Horror. That's a classic too. Are any of the Evil Deads? The Sam Raimi Army of Darkness is a great horror comedy. Children of the Corn. Jane, get out here. That was awful. It's the worst Stephen King movie.
The Omen.
Kick her off the chat.
You know, The Omen has, the original one has
Kick me
Cary
off the
Grant
chat.
in it.
Kick me off the chat, I hear you.
It had one of the doctors from Doctor Who.
Really?
Yeah, he was the priest. I've never watched it. I
Oh.
just know of it
Oh.
because that movie, the only paranormal movie I've watched besides Paranormal Activity, I don't even know how far
You
I
really
got.
did kick me off the chat.
No,
I
I
did
did
not!
Nobody did. I promise.
I can't see the comments.
Oh my lord, nobody did. Somebody must have done it for us then. My prayers have been answered.
She has trouble with technology sometimes.
I had another one, another paranormal movie. Besides Paranormal Activity. I usually don't do that stuff. Oh, the original Poltergeist.
Ooh, not seen those ones. I've seen the clip of the person hovering in the window.
That's Salem's
Maybe.
Lot.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I got my horror movies mixed up.
There's 13 ghosts.
I want to see the others.
I wanna see
I've not
the
seen
others.
that. I've seen 1408. I've seen Insidious. Skeleton Key. I love Skeleton Key.
See, that's all the paranormal stuff that I don't like.
Paranormal.
Paranormal. Oh my god, paranormal.
I love Skeleton Key. Not okay. Mothman.
No,
Loser.
I know, I should. We're local enough. That's supposed to be really good too.
It Follows.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
See, I don't do Annabelle's. You do the Annabelle, but you don't do the Child's Play?
I just haven't done it yet. I'm not scared of it.
But would you? Or would you go
yes.
hesitantly?
No.
Because Annabelle, that's grounded. You know what it is? A Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew the reality.
Shane,
I can't look at the Raggedy Ann doll now.
I had a life-size Raggedy Ann doll when I was a kid.
Screw that.
Pet Cemetery.
Oh, the remake?
2019.
No.
No.
But
Had John Lithgow in it.
that is the only saving grace of that movie, too. But you still can't beat Fred Gwynn.
Wasn't that Herman Munster?
It was Herman Munster. And don't do, for the sake of...
I've seen The Last Exorcism.
No. For the sake of your own sanity, don't do Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah.
They're over the top.
I didn't really care for Hereditary. And I
That
know
one's
I'm
pretty gnarly.
I feel like I'm in the minority there. Oh, White Noise. I like White Noise. Got Michael Keaton in it.
What, Alien?
I've not seen Alien. I know.
Predator?
Yeah, but that's because it was an action movie with Arnold in it.
That's a good... Is it? Yeah, that's great. There's a doll movie that'll ruin your life.
Dead Silence.
Dead Silence.
You know what? My mammers had those porcelain dolls, and they had like cracked faces.
That one's ventriloquist dummies.
Oh, the Autopsy of Jane Doe. I want to see that one.
I've heard that's horrifying. Brian Cox.
Yeah. That's as far back as that's Kevin Bacon. We tried. Okay, when I was in high school, we went to called Kingdom Hospital. That was developed by. Okay. Oh, I'll have to look that one up. When I was in high school, we would go stay at my friend Destiny's grandma's house. Okay, Grandma Molly's house. And we would go down to D&J's, and we'd rent movies, and we'd get pizza, and we'd go back to Grandma Molly's house. Well, we watched the others, and that one scared me.
Is that the one where spoilers? It's old enough now. It turns out she's the ghost.
No, it was like the people come in, they got the white masks or whatever, the white bags on their heads.
That's The Strangers.
That's what I meant, The Strangers.
Oh, God.
We didn't watch the others, it was
No,
The Strangers.
that one's terrifying.
Yeah. I've not seen Amityville.
I've never seen either. That deals with possession stuff, not
And,
my cup of tea.
Let's see. I've not seen like any of the Purges or anything like that.
No. There's nothing that really sticks anymore. Have you done?
Oh.
I can't say this. Forgive me, mother, if you're watching. Candyman.
No.
Mom's terrified.
Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, I
1999.
love the Tim Burton's. That's a good one. So you've got so many. You've got so much homework to do.
I've seen Ghost Ship.
Ghost Ship. The only part of Ghost Ship I
It's the
remember is
opening.
the very beginning.
Yep.
Dad likes that one.
Signs. Love Signs.
Signs.
I've seen The Woman in Black.
That's supposed to be spooky.
I don't think I'll see.
Smile.
Looks stupid. The Shining. Who hasn't seen The Shining?
Can I make a confession?
You haven't seen
Not
The
the
Shining?
whole way through. I started it yesterday. A creep show I love.
I've seen Creep
It's
Show.
an anthology. Stephen King. There's that piece of
There's
garbage.
James. The Village. Love The Village.
Yeah, Kingdom Hospital was a mini-series of Stephen King stuff.
Alright, so, okay. Stephen King. I've seen Green Mile.
Classic. Shawshank, I assume.
Shawshank. It, the newer ones, chapter 1 and 2. Stand By Me.
Classic. Not his horror stuff, though.
No. I want to see, okay,
Pet Cemetery, the original Pet Cemetery.
there's Firestarter.
Dead Zone.
Not seen Dead Zone.
My favorite Stephen King is one that nobody's ever heard of. With Timothy Hutton and Michael Rooker in a really early role. Timothy Hutton in a dual role called The Dark Half. Nobody ever talks about that
The
one.
Darkness.
The Dark Half. It's amazing.
I've not seen Misery.
The Purge.
When have you seen The Purge?
I saw it in the theater.
Analysis.
With who?
I don't remember.
Jane, what happens in The Purge?
I think we should have one.
Well, she knows that.
Okay, we're not. No, that's it for you. No, we can talk after we go
The
for
original
it.
Carrie.
Secret Window.
I've seen it.
Love that
Been
movie.
a hot second, but I've seen it. That is an anthology. There's one story by Stephen King, one story by Clive Barker, and it is hosted by Christopher Lloyd.
Really?
He's the main person.
I've seen Dolores Claiborne.
The Mist. Give me a piece of paper. I'm just gonna write down are you doing this weekly or how you gonna do this? I'm just gonna
I
write
don't know.
down like you gotta two do's. You gotta do your Halloween.
To do.
What about any of the Universal stuff?
Like what do you mean?
Frankenstein, Dracula, Bela
Oh,
Lugosi.
I have
that
all those
stuff.
actually. That's how I'll see it.
Okay, get on to the Universal
Wolfman.
monsters.
The
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Invisible Man. And the remake of that wasn't so bad either. That came out a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a Blumhouse. Halloween. What else did I say? Friday the 13th. Nightmare.
Before Christmas.
Is that a Halloween movie? Or, in this debate too, Internet. Halloween movie or Christmas movie? Nightmare
Nightmare Before Christmas. Is it Halloween or is it Christmas or is it both?
I say both.
You know what movie creeped me out when I was a kid?
What's that?
James and the Giant Peach.
There are moments. We should do that as an episode too, like the childhood
We should.
trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna make that its own category.
What did I watch when I was a kid that I didn't want my mom to know that I watched? That
Mine?
creeped me out.
We're kind of getting off on a tangent beside the thing, but that's fine. Just speaking of spooky season, mine is, and feel free to make fun of me. You know Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when he gets in the semi-truck? Large
Yeah.
Marge?
Large March scared you?
To this day. I will still jump through the ceiling.
Oh my.
Or this,
Oh.
too. I want to show you this.
Sam says it's both. I have a Tim Burton kid and we watch it all year long.
Fair enough. They're just checking in on me.
Aw. So, funny story that's not related to any of this. I have a dog named Lydia, and Shane has a wife named Lydia. And the first time that we met Lydia was at a game night at my house, and it was a very confusing evening for all because we kept telling Lydia, get off the chair.
My
And it was
wife
Lydia the
talking
dog.
to poor thing.
You know what my favorite movie genre is, don't you?
Westerns.
That's right.
I knew that one. Oh, there's a good horror western with Kurt Russell you can watch.
Bone Tomahawk.
Yes. Have you seen it?
I've not. Okay, you want to hear a funny story? Not really a funny story, but it's a good story. I started it, but once again, I fell asleep.
Cam started it because he thought it was too long.
It's very nasty.
I saw a picture of
I
the.
watched it.
Why you watch all these scary movies without me?
Huh?
You watch all these horror movies without me.
Well, I didn't, because I wanted to not scare you.
I want to show you this, and I'm probably going to scoot. But this is another source of childhood trauma.
It's Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Bad is going to happen.
So it's just like claymation things for me are.
You get that Uncanny Valley type thing? or
Yes, my sister. She's got the same issue.
what? Okay, so I saw the picture of the scene in Bone Tomahawk. You know what I'm talking about? And then I was like, well, I'm intrigued now. So I went to YouTube and watched it. Just that one. But that was like, okay, if I can make it through this on YouTube, I can make the whole movie. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to watch it again. But we'll have to do this again sometime because this was fun.
It was.
I've got some homework to do. And maybe next time we'll talk about movies from our childhood that scarred us for life.
We'll have to do that before spooky season ends.
Yeah.
At some point.
I'll do this again.
Yeah. Well, have fun with all your watching then, Dara.
Thanks for everybody who joined in and everybody who commented. And Hubie Halloween, I watched that last year. I really liked it.
I've been told I need to watch that one too, so I've got homework.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.